Hello, here we are. We are live. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm excited about today and what we're going to talk about. The title of today's Lunch and Learn or episode is Gardens and Fish. Little odd combination, but you'll hang with me, you'll get it. I'm really super excited about being here, and that it's April. So today, overnight, and today we've had quite a few showers, which is perfect for today's discussion because I was thinking about, okay, what are we going to talk about in April? So let's give you a little peek behind the curtain. But the first Tuesday of every month, I sit down in the afternoon and I schedule my social media posts and my live events and the topics and all of that. And so April was no different. I did that on Tuesday. And so I start by thinking to myself, okay, well, what is April, right? So February, Black History Month. March was Women's History Month. So what is April? What is it all about? And what does it mean to me or to you? And so for me, it's all about April showers bring me flowers because I am excited that it's spring and the snow is finally melted, and I'm pretty sure we're out of the woods when it comes to snow. Now, I probably just jinxed it because living in the Midwest, we have had snow in May, but hopefully we know if we ever do get snow in May, it doesn't stick. So that's all super, super good. All right. So as I'm thinking about April, and what that means when it comes to showers is growing things, right? So Mike and I, last year we had COVID projects. And so we made a path that went between two of our beds, or our front area beds that are in front of the house. And so we made a path, and then we made a platform for kind of a wall. he made the wall. For a bench to sit on. And so I had like 5 or 6 phases around our yard, different projects to do. And so this year we're like, okay, well, what are we going to do this year? Well, this year we are making flower beds. So raised flower beds. We're raising them because we have rabbits. And I'm hoping if anybody's got any tips on how to keep rabbits out of your garden, please send them my way. So we are going to make raised flower beds, 3 of them on the side of our house, which is a hill, so we got to kind of level them out. But anyway, so that's what we're going to do. And so I was thinking about that, and I thought, oh, you know what? There is a chapter in my book that is called Planting Seeds and Fishing. And I thought, you know what? I wrote the book to share it. And I've written 43,000 words, but I don't really share it. And I'm waiting to have it published to share, and that's just silly. So it's at a point, which I'm really excited about. It's at a point where by the end of April, it will be ready to go to a copy editor again for the second time. And then once we do our back and forth, then we'll start the publishing process hopefully this summer. So I am really excited. I know I've kind of been teasing you guys about it for years, but I am really excited. And so I wrote the book in order to share it. That was one of the reasons, is that I've got a lot of lessons that I've learned, leadership lessons that I've learned through the Bible, and applied them in my world. And I'm supposed to share it, and I haven't been. So I'm going to start sharing it. So this chapter is on planting seeds, therefore April, and gardens and fishing, and we'll talk about that in a second. But before we go there, I've got a very simple recipe today, and we're focusing on golden white bean dip, because as we were talking about gardening and vegetables, I have some these are like hybrid orange yellow bell peppers. I don't know if they're bell peppers, but peppers that I've chopped up. I also have carrots that I've chopped up as well. And so I wasn't just going to chop up carrots and then that was going to be it. I need to share a recipe with you, right? Because that's what I do. And so what better recipe to share but a dip? Because you're going to dip these in this dip, and the dip is amazing. So it's golden white bean dip. It is courtesy of Katie Lee, who is one of the chefs on The Kitchen, which is also a Food Network show, and I watch it, I believe, on Saturday mornings. And so I'm excited about that. But it's very, very super, super simple. So you just take a can of these Great Northern beans, which are actually, I want to get this right, they're actually cannellini beans, and very, very simple. So I'm just going to whip this up really fast, and then I'll tell you what we're going to talk about as far as planting seeds and fishing. So all you're going to do, and by the way, this is meant to be done in a food processor, but our food processor, I don't know, it's like really old. So when I took it out and tried to use it, the on off switch is locked, like not on purpose, it's stuck. So instead I use my bullet for everything. And so I've already made, so this bullet already has some of the dip in it. I've already made it this morning to be sure that I knew what I was doing when we became live. But I'm going to use my magic bullet. I love this thing. Probably need a new one. But anyway, so you're just going to take the beans, put them into your blender or your food processor or your magic bullet, whatever that looks like. Then you're going to take, I've got some grated fresh ginger. Now I've never used fresh ginger, you guys. I don't think I will ever use ginger out of a jar again. This fresh grated ginger smells amazing and tastes just like it, as amazing. So we put a bit of ginger in there. We're going to put a little bit of turmeric in there, which is very, very good for you, and some minced garlic. And then I'm going to take, how much do I need? And then I am going to take, I think it is 2 tablespoons of, so when you empty out the beans, you want to rinse and drain them, but you want to keep the liquid that's with them because you're going to use the liquid in your dip. So we're going to put just a couple tablespoons of the liquid back into the magic bullet, and then I am going to shake it up a little bit because the last time that I did this, the beans got all kind of stuck, and so I don't want that to happen again. All right, so we're gonna grind it up. Once it starts getting smooth, then we are going to, see, it's getting smooth, but it's pretty dry. So then we're just gonna put some, whoops, I already had this measured out, I forgot. We are going to put some olive oil in there. You can never have enough olive oil in my opinion, so throw your olive oil in there, shake it up a little bit if you're using a bullet. If you're not using a bullet, you're probably good just to turn it on. Okay, so maybe my bullet is dying. So, all right, so now, because it's Magic TV, I already have one of these done. Here it is. And so then you're going to just finish it with some salt, some pepper, and some more olive oil. Just drizzle some olive oil on there like that. And that's it. And there is our bean dip. So, and then you just, now it called, Katie Lee recommends that you eat it with pita chips, which I think would be great, but I don't have any. And so this afternoon, I think I'm going to make some. I've got some tortilla shells, just the tortilla shells, and you can make pita chips. They're not really pita chips then. I guess they're just going to be tortilla chips. And I think that would be really, really good with this. It's kind of a hummus texture. But anyway, so that's it. That's the golden white bean dip, courtesy of Katie Lee, and I wanted to share that with you. I think that works really well with cut vegetables. So back to gardens and fishing. This chapter of planting seeds and fishing is based on two areas. One is the planting seeds comes from Mark, from the Bible, from Mark chapter 4, 30 through 32. And so at this time, in this part of Mark, there's all kinds of parables. So when Jesus is speaking to the crowds, he speaks in parables. So after one of his, what I call a rally, because that's what the vision is in my head, when he's at one of the rallies, he's talking to the crowd in parables. So afterwards, he and the disciples kind of separate away, kind of rest and debrief. Again, my words. And they debrief, and the disciples are asking him all kinds of questions. Why do you talk in parables? Why are, what does this parable mean? All of those kinds of things. And so they ask him about the kingdom of God. And so here's what Jesus says. He says, "It, the kingdom, is like a mustard seed, which is the smallest of all seeds on earth. Yet when planted, it grows and becomes the largest of all garden plants with such big branches that the birds can perch in its shade." Amazing, right? So he's talking about the kingdom of God. Starts inside of you as this small little mustard seed, and it grows and grows and develops and grows and develops and develops until it's this big, huge bush, so big that birds can land on its branches, right? And that's how it should be developing in us. So I took that concept and I applied it to planting seeds, mustard seeds, in other people and developing them, whether that's developing their leadership skills, whether that's developing their faith, whatever that is. You're planting a seed with, could be your children, it could be your neighbors, it could be the person standing in line with you 6 feet away, of course, today, but standing in line at the grocery store. I mean, you might not realize it, but there's always that ability to plant a seed. And so we'll talk about that. So today's live event, is strictly to introduce you to what we're going to be talking about in April. So next week, for example, I am going to share with you a very personal story of, it's from my book, but it's a personal story of a gentleman that I met on a early morning flight to Dallas, where he taught me a lesson. He planted a seed with me, and I planted a seed with him. And, and he was a stranger. So I'm going to give you a little lesson there on what lesson he taught me regarding planting seeds. And I think you'll enjoy it. So that's next week. And so we're going to talk a bit about planting seeds and how that works with developing others. And again, that can be your children, that can be your neighbors, that can be your coworkers, that could be, family, friends, and it can be strangers as well. Now, the second part of this, and when it comes to fishing, comes from a Chinese proverb. And it is, and I'm sure you've heard of it, it is, give a man a fish and feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and feed him for a lifetime. Right? So man or woman, obviously. And quite honestly, I thought it was from the Bible. I thought that phrase, or that proverb, was from the Bible. It's not. It's a Chinese proverb, and which is great. And I think that it has real power, especially when it's coupled with planting seeds. So you give a person a fish and you feed them for a day, right? Because that's just that immediate, look, that person's hungry. I have extra fish. I'm going to give that fish to that person, and they're not hungry today. But what about tomorrow? Will they be hungry tomorrow? Do you have enough fish to give them tomorrow? Are you even going to see that person tomorrow? So you give a man to fish, or a person to a fish, and you feed them for today, short-sighted. Or you teach a person to fish, and then they can sustain themselves for the rest of their life, long-term, right? So that's what the second part of April will talk about. And that is, I'll have a session on in-the-moment decision-making and how to teach your employees, your children, your coworkers, your neighbors, your family, your friends, whoever it is that you interact with, on how to make decisions for themselves so they can become accountable for themselves, and then they can pass it on. It's kind of a train the trainer type of concept. So when you take planting seeds and teaching people to fish and you put them together, it's amazing. It's magic. It's powerful, right? And so that's what April is going to be all about. April is about growth. April is about new beginnings. April is about just the world coming alive. And so, what better time than talking about planting seeds and fishing? All right, so that is what I wanted to share with you today and introduce you to the golden white bean dip. Thank you very much, courtesy of Katie Lee. I'm really happy to share that with you, and I wish everybody a fantastic Tuesday, and I will see you all next week. Take care, everyone. Have a great day.